Alright everyone, so this is a review for a Real Housewives of Atlanta Season 8 episode... Is it Season 8 or Episode 7? Or Season... Yeah, Season 8, Episode 15. Titled, Reed School is in Session. So, we get down to business, and this starts off where it ends off, where you have Sheree going and confronting Kim Fields in the sense that, you know what, I'm tired of the fake and phoniness. This is not what actually happened. Kim, gonna be honest, there's a conversation that occurred last night, and it involved your husband. Please excuse the green screen. I'll eventually get that program working correctly, so it can be really cool. But anyway, so we have Sheree going and doing what she does best, goes back and tells everyone what's going on, what the situation is. Sheree, this is my thing. On one hand, I appreciate Sheree for doing so. On the other hand, I feel like doing so in front of all of them was embarrassing to Kim, and that's the only thing that I didn't like. If Sheree brought Kim to the side, while the ladies were still there, but brought her to the side and just told her, and then she can go and decide for herself. But then again, if you really think about it, it was better that it was in that forum, so at least they could defend themselves, and it wouldn't just be like, okay, maybe Sheree and Cynthia were or even Sheree and Cynthia were the only two that didn't feel a certain way about Kim Fields' husband, and the rest of them were just making fun of him and insinuating that he was gay, or just running with that whole running joke of, oh, he's a non-masculine male, and he also does acting, theater, and all of that. So it's like, oh, what do you have going on, Kim? But no, let's stop faking the funk. Anyway, but side note, there was actually another part to that, because Sheree, Portia, and Phaedra, apparently they were on the bus with Chris, and no one else was there, and there was some type of situation. I don't know the details, but I do know that there was an uncomfortable situation. I don't know if he got fresh with them or whatever, but Chris later talked to them and apologized because whatever it was unnecessary. He was probably still defending his wife and felt a certain way in general. But that's why they decided to go and Google him. That's the second part of this. Sheree's also like, yeah, so by the way, we actually also Googled him. And then you have Kenya, if that wasn't bad enough, where Kim's just like, what? Because they're actually asking him. They're all just sitting around. Everyone, including Cynthia's sisters, is like, they're just all watching like, oh, what the hell? Sheree, what are you doing? Like, why? It's like, what? And then Kenya goes, and Kenya, she just always has to do a little bit extra. Always has to do a little bit extra. Kenya has to go and say, well, you know, to your knowledge, is your husband gay? Or do you know him to be gay? Or do stuff with men? Or you understand that in the industry, he's called Chrissy, and there's a little spiciness to it. And then Cynthia also chimed in and was just like, I felt very uncomfortable when that conversation was happening yesterday, so I stuck out of it. But shout out to Sheree for putting it out there, because at least I can also jump on the bandwagon and say I did not take part in that foolishness. And Kenya, and this is when everyone's just like, Kenya, slow your roll. And I appreciate the fact that Cynthia finally stood up and kind of said something to the effect of, you know what, Kenya, I love you, you're my friend, but what you were doing wasn't cool. Not necessarily towards this situation, it was more so towards the pulling out the chair and all of that, because it was like, yo, that was not necessary. All of this was way too much. But Nene was trying to say, you know, saying stuff like that could be very harmful to a family, and so it's not right to say things like that. Which is all well and good and true, but Nene was kind of initially going along and faking the funk with the rest of them. So, you know, it was kind of that, okay, we understand that you felt bad and that's why you were trying to stick up for her. But on the same note, why did you even start in the first place carrying on? Because clearly it wasn't necessary. That was something you could have just nipped in the bud and been like, you know what? We're not playing these type of games, because as soon as you bring the husbands into the situation, into the girl drama, things always get out of control. But shout out to the guys for having a good time while the ladies were talking about their situation. I mean, and no one was feeling Kenya at that point, because it was like, Kenya, why are you also bringing up, she was like, so along with that, also your bankruptcy or potential bankruptcies. I'm like, wait a minute. And it was like, so is that why you add to certain, we're just like, Kenya, stop. Kenya, stop. We understand that you don't like Kim Fields. We get it. We absolutely get it. But this is so wrong, you taking this approach of, oh, she's this and she's that, so she makes me feel a certain way, so I'm going to make her feel a certain way because I know she's doing it on purpose. So we get past that. Afterwards, we get to Portia and I believe his name's Oliver. And Oliver's still there and they're having a good time. Portia's just like, okay, Oliver could be a keeper. You know, I'm still on the bandwagon that Oliver's just there to get some from Portia. Once he gets it a couple of times, it'll just be like, yeah, we'll be in touch type of thing. Matt definitely seems like he really likes Kenya. And Kenya's just like, you know, we're going to be doing the falls today. So wear what you're going to wear. We should have a good time. You know, it's just us against the world right now. And of course, since Matt's really feeling Kenya, he's all for it. Now we get Nene, we get, what's her name, Kim Fields, and we also get Phaedra. And this was the best scene in the episode, and one of the best scenes of this whole season, because it was really cool to see Nene and Phaedra come together for Kim Fields. Even though we know it was kind of like, wait a minute now, you guys were kind of bashing her husband, so to speak. But Nene was saying how she did feel bad, and she felt really bad, and she did apologize again, because it was just like, it was just like a little jokey joke, but even then, it was still wrong. And so then Nene was trying to say, you know what, Kim, I love you, but you're in this group of women who are all about the, if you say something about me, if you even think something about me, and I know you're thinking of something about me, I'm going to have to make sure that I get you back. And so Kim's like, you know what? I'm too grown for this. And they're like, you know, Mother Kim, Church Kim, Bible thumping Kim. We also have a Bible thumping person here ourselves. Miss Phaedra. Enters Phaedra. Now, this is where the best part comes in, because Phaedra and Nene decide they're going to show Kim how to read. They're going to take her to a reading school. And it was hilarious. I mean, let me go and rewind so that I can get you guys a better adaptation of, well, reenactment of what's actually about to occur. Because it was amazing. So, it's like, alright. Oh, and by the way, Phaedra was like, sometimes, you know, you have to deal with the bully head on. Boop. I'm like, okay, so was that a cosign for when Portia did what she did to Kenya? So, this is the reenactment of their role play. Now, keep in mind that Phaedra was Kenya and Nene was Kim. Alright, here we go. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, you think you're better than everyone else? And I've been in 2 movies, and they were 2 blockbusters. I'm King Yonsei. Honey, 40 years in the business right here. And so, do you know I'm Black Hollywood royalty? I was like, look, in the hood, I've never seen you in Black Hollywood, or in White Hollywood for that matter. I was like, damn. Okay, Mrs. Garrett. Oh, is that something what Regine would say or do? Huh? And it's like, oh, that's what your husband probably doing at, because he's gay and all. It's like, alright, bitch, enough now, enough now. That was enough, we about to get crunk in this. And it was like, oh, well, you don't even have a husband, so how are you to talk? She was like, I have a 20-year-old trainer, 20-year-old trainer. I was like, oh, Lord, take the wheel. We have Jesus in this house. We have Jesus in this house. We cover in the blood. She was like, you know what? Screw you. Security, security. Let me pull up my chair so that you can go. I'm going with the... Yeah, I'm sorry if this is too much for some of you guys that wanted a toned down version, but I mean, that was too good of a moment to miss. That was too much of a moment to miss. Whew. Ooh, I need a move from that. So, we get Candy, Todd, and the old lady gang. Is that what it's called? The old lady crew or the old lady gang. And Candy and Todd, first of all, are doing the restaurant, the family restaurant. And so they have to find a proper chef. So they're meeting up with this guy. And of course, they invited Aunt Bertha, Mama Joyce, and, sorry, the other one. And long story short, it was essentially like Goldilocks. This one, no, I don't eat that. That's not cool. That one, needs some more salt, needs some more flavor. But these ribs right here, these are bomb. These fire. These ribs are lit. And I mean, I actually kind of forgot that Candy was on the show. That is not a dig. It's just that Candy's life is so normal. So congrats to her. She's doing what you're supposed to do. Get your ducks in order. Because what's the point of having a great business foundation if your home life is horrendous? So we get this cute little scene of Kim and her sons, and it was so cute. Kim's older son taught him, what did he teach him? What was it, high five? He taught him something, but it was just so cute to see, and I'm like, oh, this is a nice little moment. It was a nice little moment. And aside from that, it was like, all right, back to business. Let me talk to hubby and see what's going on. It's like, hey, so yeah, the women insinuated that you were gay and they Googled you and that's what they came up with. And he was just like, wow. So we talking about Googling people now? If I Googled half of them, I'd get mugshots. I'd get mugshots. I would get bankruptcies. I would get Pat's car notes, old faces, old nose, old boo. See, that's the cool thing about Chris. Chris is definitely, he does remind me of myself in the sense that it's just like, oh, so that's how you feel? Okay, cool. The only time you're going to actually hear me react at all is if it has to do with someone else that I know that I'm cool with. That's when I'm going to be like, ah, not today. But if it's just me, go ahead. Why do I care? Why do I care? So they get to Duns River Falls, and Portia, you know, was twerking, her usual twerk, and she was doing this cat crawl because she didn't want to fall. Bob throws Sheree, not throws Sheree, but drops Sheree in the water. She's like, haha, you wet now. It's cute to see Bob and Sheree be on good terms because we never got to see that. And Nene was like, you know what, I'm not getting in that water. Everyone's helping each other get to the top, and they eventually get to the top. But it was just like, okay, Kenya and Matt raced up to the top. So shout out to them for, I guess, winning an imaginary competition. But that was a great way to ostracize yourself from the group. So congratulations on doing so as well, because everyone was just in agreement. It's like, this was about helping each other out and coming together. It would have been cool for you to do that. But my whole thing is, I do agree with Kenya. It's like, they don't like you at this point. So why are you going to fake the funk? Why are you going to go and act like everything's cool when you know they don't really like you? So shout out to, what is it, Scotchies? That's actually the place that I went to, well, with my family and friends. Well, really, with my family when I was in Jamaica last year. And the food, they were not exaggerating. The jerk, everything was, the jerk pork, the happy family. I mean, everything. Even the drinks taste better. No, I don't drink alcohol, but I mean, that was a nice, yeah. So it was very cool, but we went there during the day, and aside from that, shout out to the guys for having a good time. Matt was finally opening up because he was around them a little bit more, and it was just like, you know what, we're all bros, we're all grown, or grown enough, and Peter was trying to egg on Matt, and it was like, oh, so, you know, you hitting that, and he was saying the same thing to Portia's guy, and Portia's guy is definitely someone who seems to at least be able to assimilate more easily. It's just like, you know what, I'm here, I'm with the leads, I'm with the guys, no problem. Matt needed a moment more to warm up to them, especially since Kenya is at odds with them. But Matt seems good now, and it was cool that he was like, Peter actually said, you know what, he loves Kenya. He's like, she's crazy as hell, and she's extra. She's very extra, but at the end of the day, I can appreciate her. I can be cool with her. So, Matt was like, yeah, I love her too. It was like, oh, so it's like that. It was like, yeah, no, we cool. It was like, oh, no, I heard you said we cool, we cool, we cool. But it was interesting because Bob was trying to insinuate that he was hitting something, bouncing something with Sheree, and we know that wasn't happening. But it was an interesting moment because a lot of fakeness occurred. A lot of fakeness occurred. Essentially, they got Kenya to agree to disagree with Kim Fields. And Kim Fields felt the same way. Because it was just like, I'm sorry for pulling your chair out. I wasn't trying to insinuate a fight or anything like that. Because we know that's not what Kenya's about. And we believe that. It's just like, Kenya, why do you provoke people? That doesn't help your case. So, that's why we were upset with her when she initially did that. Now, aside from that, I think that's also when Cynthia was just like, you know what, we're friends, we're close friends, regardless of what happens, we're going to be cool, but I don't appreciate how you act sometimes. And Kenya was just like, you know what, I love the fact that we are friends and you can actually tell me something like that, because that does help me grow and develop. And I'm just like, Kenya, this is not Miss America or Miss USA. You, and no, I don't know which one she won. You cannot give us this pageant speech that is fake and fraudulent. If you're just going to be like, you know what, we're going to agree to disagree. I was sorry for that thing, but I still felt the same way I did before. And we know Kenya was hurt by Cynthia, and so that's why she overreacted to Kim. That was the main thing. And she admitted that. Well, at least in the confessionals. I think at least in the confessionals. So, side note, a lot of ball talk was going on. Balls. It was like, Cynthia likes black ball. Well, no, she's had a lot of black balls. Well, ergo Peter. So, she wanted some white balls for a change. Yeah. But they were, Cynthia, what's her name? Cynthia, Sheree, and Nene were having the conversation about what's been going on between Kim and Kenya. And it's just like, you know what? I can't deal with this. Can't deal with this. And Nene's just like, I'm not going to be in the middle. I can be your Dr. Phil. Cynthia actually wrote a list of all the issues she has with Kenya. And all the issues really stem from when she started to do the commercials. That's when she finally had her first real problem with Kenya. Her first real problem. And it was just like, you know, you weren't there for me with the commercial. And so I enlisted Kim's help. Then you went and weren't supportive for as far as me being sure, making sure that you were still involved with the commercial in some capacity. And that really hurt me. To top it all off, we have this chick right next to me, Sheree. Sheree going and spilling the beans about what was said, but not correctly. Sheree's like, look, yeah, that's what happened. I'm like, okay, Sheree, at least I appreciate that. And so, you know, what they're going to do is they're going to come together and really talk it out as far as what their next steps are. Because they can't go on like this. So they have this really nice, I'm going to call it, I think it was like their last night out in Jamaica, or date night. And it was cool because they had the band playing and everyone was vibing out. You had Portia and you had, what's her name? You had Portia and you had Phaedra twerking and winding just like the other dancers. And again, everyone looked cool. Phaedra's horny because she was like, you know, Peter's been looking pretty good in that suit. And she was like, it's making me feel a certain way. Aside, it reminded me about, you know, the crypt and me preserving the bodies. And I'm like, oh no, not casket tease. But again, I'm trying to figure, Phaedra is definitely acting like someone who hasn't been out of the house. So shout out to Phaedra, because we thought that she was going to become more of a stick in the mud once she had the kids, but no. She did a complete 180, and I appreciate it, because people are complaining about how she was boring, and now they're saying she's too extra. No, she's having fun. Let her do her. She is a judge to the celebrities, to people in the entertainment field. So she can go and twerk on TV. As long as she's relevant, she probably gets more clients. People don't think about that. It's not about necessarily professionalism. It's about, can you win me my case? And do I know you? Yes and yes? Then we're good. So Matt and Kenya were late to the dinner, and everyone's just like, what the hell is going on? And Peter was essentially... Yeah, so Peter was just saying how he loved Kenya, and it was just crazy, the arguments and disagreements that they had because they were so close. And Nina was just like, you know what? I'm not going anywhere. You're going to have to get over it. If you can't get over it, that's not my problem. Boop-bah, essentially. And I'm like, yeah, we agree with that. She's like, my name's Bennett. I'm not in it. I'm in the middle of your drama. Get over yourselves, ladies. Get over yourselves. Get over yourselves. And Peter's just like, you know what, Kenya? I do love you. You crazy as hell, but I love you. And that's how it be sometimes. That's how it is sometimes. So that was nice to see them just all this fake and phony is. Who am I kidding? This is some fake and phony. I was really trying to fake the funk. I can't. That was way too much. Like, I truly believe that Cynthia and Kenya have a friendship and are really close. But that was just too much for me. I couldn't even finish my sentence because I couldn't. See, I'm fumbling. That was it. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you thought of this episode or this season. Next week looks like it's going to be interesting. Maybe not as much drama, but that's alright.